Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Transformation Thursday, held on Wednesday, because it suited our calendar just better. But I'm very happy that Brehua, one my is here. He's an amazing guy. He's a really good friend of mine, um, and he has been on quite a journey. Um, Going from not loving school to becoming a teacher. Uh, um, God, what do you call it? The physical education teacher in English.
Yeah, yeah. PE teacher, yeah.
uh, and then he made a big switch into sales, and now he's back into fitness. I'm really curious what he has to share with us and into his journey. I know quite a bit about his journey, but I'm really happy he's here and willing to share about his journey. So Brehuya, please introduce yourself and yeah.
I will. Well, first of all, thank you for the amazing introduction and thank you for having me, boss. And yeah, so I'm Brehua. I'm 31 years old. I live in Tilburg, that's the south of Netherlands. And yeah, right now I'm running an online women's fitness platform. It's called BAM's Bootcamp. And I'm going to share a bit later, of course, about how that all came to an online platform and why it's women and all of that. But yeah, that's what I do on a day-to-day basis now. And yeah, other than that, I just love sports myself, of course. I'm at gym 5 days a week just because I love it, not because I have to. I love cooking. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
Okay, great. So, well, let's dive in straight away.
Yeah.
This life is about turning points and how we deal with change in our lives, and what we're creating for our future. So, um, what is it like a turning point in your life or in your career or in your business where um, that you would like to share with us. And at the same time, for people that are watching, feel free to ask a question in the chat, and we'll see uh, how and if we can answer it. But yeah, go ahead, Brewa.
Amazing. I'm excited if we, curious if we're gonna get some questions. But yeah, for me personally, like you said it in the beginning, when I went to school, my mom's a school teacher, and I was just a good kid in school, and I did everything until I was like probably around 14 or something, and school started to bore me, and it, became more about just living life and less about school. And in that time, school got just more and more boring for me, and I resisted school more and more until I even got kicked out at some point, and I had to go to like this adult education. That's I think how you translate it. So me being 17 at that time, I had people literally from like 21 was the the youngest after me until 48 in my classroom, and me being young, that was at first like a you know super scary experience. Like, oh, I'm not gonna have friends. All the regular high school stuff that was going through my mind. But for me, it was just one of the best things that could have happened to me because all of a sudden I was in the classroom with entrepreneurs, who already had businesses and therefore never graduated high school, and um, that just inspired me. And then at some point I went, I finished that school because I just had the best teachers. There was no like difference between teachers and students. And then I jumped into yeah, the PE teacher education at Fontis, and I finished that as well. And then I started to work in schools, and I became the thing that I didn't love, and I was making a difference in schools, but I still, was in this school system. And the biggest turning point for me in my life was when I started really doing, self development and training myself. I already had a business by then when I was working in schools. Ben's Booty Camp was already born. Um, but when I really freely chose to live my life in a way that I was happy, not about money, not about what I was taught in the past, but really, me just being happy and fully chasing that and just go for it. That was one of the most pivotal points, um, because it freed me up. It really freed me up, and it really made me see beyond, everything that's taught when you were younger. And yeah, that also encouraged me to just jump into online marketing with zero zero experience in sales, zero experience in online marketing, and that job interview was quite interesting because it was for a large online company who works, who sells like online software to entrepreneurs, who work by themselves to automate all the systems. And they actually tried to sell me the software in that job interview, but I was so clear on what I wanted that they just gave me the benefit of the doubt, and I could just try it for 2 months. They said uh, we're not like a charity, right? So you have to in the end make revenue, but we give you just 2 months because you're so confident. And it was just a game for me, stuff that I would have never done before, and that was just so I was just so clear on what I wanted. I wanted to be free in this life, and I just jumped into that one, and that was for me something that I really saw for myself. Like anything you want for yourself is possible as long as you just 100% commit and just burn the bridges and just go.
I mean, you say quite a few interesting things. So first of all, we've spoken like so many times about so many different things. I up till now I did not know this was your high school experience,
Mm.
or that you got kicked out. But what like when I look back at my high school time, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I started very off with very high grades, and then they started to drop, and then I
Mm.
barely made it. Um, and like at my graduation, like the teachers, like the guy handing out the diplomas, he was like, we're very happy. We're sure that this guy is very happy he gets his diploma, and we are very happy too.
They finally got rid of you.
Yeah. My father was sitting next to me, and he was like, "God, you again." But
Mm.
um, what I found interesting, or what made me think about that, is like then you got into educating kids as well, and I'm sure you've seen like kids going through the same struggle, maybe
Mm.
at the same time as you went through, let's say 14, 15, or maybe a bit earlier. How, I mean, now you could see that they having a pivotal moment in the moment, and they're not even
Yeah.
experiencing it. How, what, what would you do, or how would you support them?
Well, first of all, I was always on their side. So
Uh-huh.
what I, personally, I just experienced the same things when I was, especially working at ROC, which is like the age group from, let's say, 16 to like, I had people from 31 in my classroom.
Yeah.
At that time, I was 26, 27 myself, but I was always on their side. So when they had an argument with the teacher, they would always come to me. Like they would always share their heart out with me, and then I
Mhm.
would bring it to the teacher. Just find out what happened, and also make the teacher responsible for how the kid is operating. And I've been in a lot of meetings, around the diploma time, rapporto time, I don't
Yeah.
know, where they spoke about, this student is just, behaving bad, and this one is not, attending school. And most of the time I was like, are we really talking about the same person? Because they show up in my classes, they give all they have. You could say, it's PE because they love it, they don't have to sit down, but it's still early mornings, and they show up on time with their clothing, everything fine. So for me, I think the biggest thing that I gave them was just what I got when I went to adult education, just someone who's really listening to you, someone who's really, indulging into your world, and really, saying it's going to be okay, and support them in
Mhm.
that way. So I think I wasn't really a typical teacher back then. And I was more of a coach than actually a teacher, because I didn't really care about, coming late or on time. Or I was more like, why are you late? Why are you not on time? Or why don't you have your clothes with you? And I heard crazy stuff about, alcoholic parents, people not having money, having to take care of their families. And I think a lot of those things are underestimated when it comes to the current school system, because it's just 30 in a classroom, and go go go, and you have to make it, and you have to be like this, and you have to be like this, and I think it's suffocating.
Mhm. Okay. Um, so, like, when did you? Thank you for sharing that, by the way. But when did you like realize that uh, physical education was not for you anymore? Like looking back, what was the pivotal moment?
Yeah, for me, as I shared, like when I started doing self education, and really, really got connected to the fundamental things of being a human being, and dealing
Yeah.
with that, and
Mhm.
and and all the conversations we can have in our head, all the insecurities we can dwell in, and actually, we just give up on our dreams, and once I saw, like, right now I'm in a system that's not changing anything about that. That's, because I still, that time was one of the best times in my life, because I loved hanging out with the kids. I was just one of them.
Yeah.
um, and it was definitely less stressful than what I'm doing now. But I really saw that I couldn't make the change that I wanted to make, and that's why I left the educational system. So it was more about that for me than actually not liking being a PE teacher.
Okay. So and then you made a switch to sales, and they gave
Yeah,
you, as you said, like an maybe an unexpected opportunity.
yeah.
Um, when did you when did you realize uh, that was going to turn into like a pivotal moment, or when you look back, was like, okay, this
Yeah.
was.
Well, for me, it was like, because I already had men's booty camp. So, I started that when I was in my final year of my education to become a PE teacher. I just started booty camp, just because a friend of mine asked me, we were 13 ladies in this company. Do you want to train us? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? It's just, I was a student, so some experience, some money. uh, but what I really noticed is like how hard it can be for women to actually go to the gym. I mean, some, they don't go if they don't have the right leggings, or they're afraid of who's going to be there, or they don't know how the machines work, and they're just too insecure to actually figure it out. And yeah, at some point I just went for that, and I could, I figured if I can really change moms, who are 9 times out of 10 in the heart of the family. They do the most when it comes with the kids, and the kids, naturally gravitate towards the mom. So if you actually give the moms the power back to take care of themselves and deal with stress, and take care of themselves and be a good example when it comes to working out, you actually impact more than going student for student, and after 18 they just leave, and just having 2 hours a
Mhm.
week with them. um, so I just took that on, and then that was what I did as the main thing with the groups. But then also personal training, I sometimes trained some guys that I knew. And one of the guys, he was actually working for this online marketing company. And after a few weeks, he just shared with me like, your business should be a great business. Could be a great business for what I actually do, and where I encourage entrepreneurs in to take the step to going online. And he shared that just before I started those courses, that actually really changed me. And um, yeah, once I got out of that, I was like, I'm so clear. I'm just stuck in this park, dragging all these weights up and down 4 or 5 times a week. And I was like, I could do this in a way better way. And also my body, it was just tired back then. I was 27, but I moved like a 40-year-old, right? And now I'm 31. I'm in the best shape in my life right now. So a lot of things actually made me take that step. So the freedom, also the impact on my own body, and also the scalability, because I just want to help a lot of more people.
Mhm. So if you look back at the different let's say turning points or pivotal moments that you've had, uh, do you see them as inevitable to your journey, or do you think you could have avoided them and still be in the same spot, or um, do you see them as like the uh, how do you say that, like the let's say the pearls in your learning, or like
Mm.
the gems, or how do you look at that?
Well, the pivotal points, I think it's like it's a two-way road. Like, first of all, you have to want it, right? Because the moment you want stuff, or the moment you create this goal in your head, you start to see, life just starts appearing differently. And
Mhm.
for me, taking on those courses or making those jumps, if I wasn't thinking about living a life freedom and working from Ghana in the future or whatever, in a month time I'll be working for Morocco just because I can, right? It's
Mhm.
just that simple. And if you don't have those visions, you won't take the opportunities that life throws at you. So I think it's first of all setting your mind right, but then also, yeah, I think then stuff shows up, and when stuff shows up, just go for it. Because yeah, without those moments that feel like dangerous and feel like you might not make it, and feel like a bit tricky. I mean, that's where the juice of life is, I think.
Okay. I, I tend to agree with you. Um,
Nice.
but that is not. So, what are like, if you would say like one, if you could take like one lesson out of all these like turning points, what would
Yeah.
that lesson be for you? That like taking you like looking at your mindset and your approach to your business. What is your biggest takeaway from those?
Mm, yeah, of course, of course, there's a lot, but I think the thing that really empowers me in all of this is, is for me, life is just a game.
Uh-huh.
It's just a game, and in everything I do, I just trying to bring that like infinite energy with just doing stuff and just trying it out and not believing in failing and not thinking about the consequences. Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, sometimes it hurts me and I get in a bad situation, but at least I learned and I tried, and I will never die, one day thinking about what if. I never want to die like that. So for me personally, it's just make it a game and just have fun in this life. And yeah, and just go for whatever you want. It doesn't really matter whatever you do. Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, like one of the things that um, I like I see, like when you're in like in the let's say in the pivotal moment or like in the
Mm,
valley, it's like like I now like going through like different valleys in my life. I
mhm.
know there will be mountain tops, and
Yeah,
instead of like just like dwelling in where you are or where you're stuck or um, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and
yeah,
these things and then you look back at these things and it's like I mean this happened so many times now that or yeah that you're like, well, why was I making such a big deal out of this,
mm,
or
yeah,
why could you not let it go? And then at the end of the journey you're like, this was I would not have even wanted to have missed that learning experience or the negative experience, because that now gives me the freedom or the breakthrough or yeah,
yeah,
the thing that I'm looking for.
yeah. And it's just beautiful how you said that, because I think it's true. People really, when we get down, it's just easy to give up. Those are always the moments that are. It's it makes sense to give up in a way, and
Yeah.
but you never know what you can actually gain out of that hard moment. I remember one time it was with Ben Bootcamp when it was still in the park, and it was this morning, and I was supposed to have like eight girls showing up, and everybody last minute canceled because it was raining and da 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 da. And I think it was in my second year or something. And then I really wanted to cancel that classroom, but two people still came, and I was like, never mind. I'm just gonna get out of bed. It was a Saturday morning. Been to a party the night before. I was like, never mind. I just go. I just do it because I promised it, right? I said I would show up, and in that moment there was something funny. I came there. Then all of a sudden, three other people showed up without any notice because they were just in the mood to work out. So all of a sudden, we were at five, and then this photographer just came by on his bike, and he was from like a local newspaper. And he was like, "Whoa, this is so funny and so amazing, and that's great. You guys are working out. Can I take pictures? Can I write an article about this?" And I remember, that day when I went home, I was like, imagine, and I even got clients out of that newspaper article.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I was just like, imagine if I would just have, taken the easy way, like, just stay in bed because it's raining and you're tired and everybody canceled and da 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 da. And be the victim of that situation. I just went anyway, and all of a sudden I got this small surprise from life. And
yeah.
I think that's something a lot of people tend to oversee, is that those small surprises. We can all think about the negative stuff that's going to happen, but those things are the things you can never think about. You can never imagine that's going to happen. I never thought that a random photographer showed up and had a whole photo shoot going on Saturday morning. So
Yeah.
yeah, just make it fun for yourself and just be open to the surprises and go for it.
Okay. Thanks. I want to take it to the next like step in
Yeah.
the conversation. Where we talk about change and how
Hmm.
um, what do you think about change? How you recognize that you resist change? Whether like whether you see positive and negative change as in a similar way, or that you resist it in a similar way.
Yeah.
So um, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You've been through quite a journey.
Yeah.
How did you deal with change? I mean, going from like, for example, as you said, from high school to uh, adult school, where there's now you're not one of the kids of 17
Mhm.
years old, but now there's a 48-year-olds, and there's 17-year-olds and everything in between.
Yeah.
Uh, that must have been a change. How did you deal with that change?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I think with all the, it doesn't matter what setback it was or what, leap of faith I took. Um, I think for me, the most powerful, stand I can be in when it comes to change is being curious.
Mhm.
And that's also, I mean, you said before, like, how do you actually, catch yourself on resisting maybe the change? And for me, it's simple. Like when I start complaining about stuff, um, I just know I'm resisting stuff. So whenever I complain, there's something in my life that's still resisting and going on, and that's unwanted there. Um, and then it's just for me to actually slow down and get myself to a place of curiosity again. Slow down to speed up. That's how I call it. That's also what I teach everyone who's in my best bootcamp programs. I tell them all the time: slow down to speed up. Just take some time to look at your life and not just automatically just force yourself through it. Because sometimes 5 minutes or 10 minutes of thinking can can open up new spaces for you, and also share yourself. Even yesterday evening, I had a conversation with someone who's coaching like 500 people, and I'm now starting to scale Ben's Bootcamp. Uh, and I never, I've ran a team before, but I never scaled it myself. And
Mhm.
yeah, she was, just being in conversation with her about whatever I couldn't deal with. Maybe, yeah, you can also maybe call it even being vulnerable about stuff that you can't figure out. Uh, but yeah, that vulnerability and curiosity to find the solution is and also with interaction with people, you can search it up by yourself, but people know so many amazing things, and just by
Yeah.
being in a conversation you discover so much a lot of times. So yeah, you don't have to do it by yourself. Just be curious and yeah, keep going till you find the answer.
Mhm. So, I mean, do you think that resistance to change
Mhm.
could be beneficial?
uh risk. uh well, if I speak for myself, I would say no. I
Uh-huh.
don't. I rather try something out and then be sure that it doesn't bring whatever the person said it would bring, than shoot the idea up front. Um, but also, what I learned about change past year is that gradual change is also amazing. And for me,
Mhm.
before, change was like this major thing that had to shift everything. And
Mhm.
for example, with my advertisement strategy, I did it twice. I switched it over totally. Like, oh, I saw this thing, we're gonna do it like this. And then even though it was running good, I want to just go to better, and I switched it all the way. And it ended up with having zero result, and money, time, energy is wasted. So
Mhm.
gradual change is also a beautiful change, and I think that's also maybe when it comes to slowing down. But I think that's one of my greatest takeaways when it comes to change from last year. But resistance, yeah, no, just try it out. Why not? Yeah.
Was there a moment in let's say in your journey that
Mhm.
you resisted change for like a very, very, well, let's say a long time? And
Definitely.
what
Definitely.
and what was it then that, well, can you share the incident, but then also like what was it that
Yeah.
you let it go?
Okay, so first of all, the incident was, with BAM's bootcamp launching online, I had three investors, and
Mhm.
those investors made amazing promises to me about the amount of money they were going to invest, amounts I never touched in my life. So I was excited all the way, and also blinded by that excitement. And after 1 month, when after the launch, nothing, yeah, some stuff happened, but nothing really significant happened. And yeah, I confronted them with some stuff that I thought that was their responsibility, and at first they agreed, and then one of the two said, I'm gonna quit this business, I'm just jumping out of it, and then the second one followed, and that change, me not having a steady income, me not having uh, those guys paying for my advertisements, and me having to you know handle all that responsibility. And back then, I was really a victim of the situation. So I think that's the change that, at least, I think it took me 6 months to get over it in a way. Maybe I'm still not over it, to be honest, sometimes, but it will come. But what really gave me power in that situation at some point is how hard, and it's hard to see, okay, what did I miss in this situation? Well, first of all, a lot of things I didn't really got them black and white because they were friends. I trusted them blindly, but I should have written it down somewhere. I should have really created the agreement. So also, getting back to where can I take responsibility? What have I missed? Could have I done more to actually have this set in stone, and you know not even being able to get into the situation. So yeah, that's something that I resist for a long, long time because it felt so unfair, right? And you just justify everything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I mean, I get that. But was there something that you felt that you gave up or let go, and that, or maybe you're not there yet. Uh,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, I think I just had to let go that it was their fault, and I also had to let go that whatever they did was wrong,
okay.
because they're free to choose what they do with their life as well. And of course, my expectation was different, and the way they spoke to me, and yeah, the promises that were made were different, you know. But yeah, down that road, there's nothing to gain. There's nothing to really get to be right about that situation or how it should have been, and me being, being feeling so misled, or I don't even know how to say it, but I felt
Yeah.
betrayed at that moment, because I knew them for a long time. And yeah, you really have to let go that it's that it this wasn't a possibility. I think that's also the main thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, no, I like what you say, where you say, like, when you let them have their choice, or they do whatever they do, and
Sure.
that's something you don't want to fix that or change that. And then now, when you accept that, you get to actually deal with you, or what is on your plate, or what you want to
Yeah.
create going forward. If
Yeah.
you keep hanging on to what they did, or should have done, or did not do, you stay uh, in that story.
Yeah.
um,
It keeps you stuck in the valley, like how you said it before.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
not serving you. Okay. So are there, like, I'm sure, like, in your current business, or I mean, like, as a business, or as an entrepreneur, you're dealing with constant change.
Hmm.
Do you have a strategy or a practical strategy where you trigger yourself, like, not to stay too long in the valley, or um,
Uh, wow. How do I? So yeah. So how do I get out of the valleys? I mean, that's the question, right? So do I do something specific? I don't really. I think working out
okay.
might sound simple, but I think working out is one of the main things that I um that kept me sane in that time, you know. And it's for me, it's just a place to let go of that frustration. It's also a place, I start my days with my workout. So every day, you start with some growth, and then I just take it along for the rest of the day, trying to grow, trying to, improve, trying to see where I can grow. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's actually the foundation for how my mind operates. Like, if I just start my workout day with there's also a huge difference if I don't work out in the morning. um but yeah, if I start like that, my mind is just set for winning and growing. And I already conquered like 15 discussions with myself at least in the morning,
Yeah.
from getting out of bed to going to the gym to have to pick up that weight that you don't really feel like picking up. So I think that's where I just lay my foundation for the rest of the day.
It was funny. I mean, I know that you work out every day, but I was listening to this podcast today about
Mm,
uh, a guy on like overcoming alcoholism, and
mm,
he would go to the gym like really to get over his hangover, to sweat out all the alcohol, and like
mm,
to show that he was fit. And then that was his mechanism to deal with his alcoholism. Now he's sober for a year and he's
mm,
still going to the gym, but like from a different perspective, and a more in a loving perspective to his body, and like uh, not like punishing his body, but like loving his body. And
mm,
I thought it was um, like a beautiful way on how you actually can do the same thing, but reframe it, and still make it work for you, or it works in both situations. Um, at least it was for him. I mean, I'm not advocating alcoholism, of course, but but
get
no,
that.
I thought that was
Yeah.
sorry.
No, no, no. I just want to say you're advocating like going to the gym. That's what I hear at least. No,
Oh
no,
yeah,
but it's
no,
true. It's true. Because like, let's say 4 years ago, for example, I also wanted to go to the gym 5 times a week, but I really like I had to for myself. It had
yeah,
to be like this because I had to be this big guy. And now it's just, yeah, from a place of love. And also, I'm more successful at getting 5 workouts out of 5, just because of love. Just because. And usually I even get a sixth one in the weekends if I can. Maybe it's just walking, maybe it's just something at home. It doesn't really have to be big, but it's just really embedded in my foundation right now. And I just feel a better person, I feel happier, and it's a way of taking care of myself.
great.
Yeah.
I can still get like something out of that. 5 out of 5. There have been certain periods of my life, but it's not. That's not happening at the moment. Um, so,
Oh, that's good.
um, yeah. I mean, I want to take it into the last part of the conversation. What do
Yeah.
you? Uh, is it like? I mean, we've talked about BAM's booty camp. What are you creating for BAM's booty camp? Like in the next, let's say for 2024, where do you want to go? And any other things that I know you talk about Ghana as well.
Yeah.
So what do you want? What do you want 2024 to look like?
Well, it's funny. I recently been having this conversation with my, the third companion who's still in the business. Actually, yesterday, we really created about. I really shared about, that I want to expand in many ways with Ben's Bootcamp. First of all, I'm excited, creating this structure right now for webinars, for example, to actually be more efficient with my time when it comes to enrolling people in doing Bootcamp. And really more giving master classes out, and then whoever's excited just jump in booty camp. And like 4 or 5, I think 6 months ago, I really created like this formula that I work with, which is now like my only thing that I give. So there's no more one-on-one coaching, because I really believe in this vulnerability and the power of the group and sharing yourself and growing with each other. And that formula just it's just amazing how it works and how it transforms women. And I shared it before. It's like, yeah, the moms, the center of the house. It's just amazing to be that contribution. to families, and it's getting bigger. I mean, women are painting their houses, women are having breakthroughs in their business, women are, standing up for themselves at work. They really get a lot of out of my program, and that's just something I have to show to the world. So also I got last week I got somebody who's going to do my social media. I already have ads, of course, but I'm going to do it like organic. I want to expand that as well, and really bring that vulnerability to the audience and really show what I'm about and what Ben's Bootcamp is about, and also have these women share what they actually been through and what I coach them through, because I think there's nothing more authentic than that. So I just this has been the first year, and I really love to triple my business in coming year, and also expand. I have to do that with a team, so also that creating a team and having new visions on how to do that and how to be a great leader to them and make their life work as well. Not making it about me or money, but really have a lot of people their lives work. So
Mhm.
that's really what I'm standing for. And also, like a month ago, I created this real estate day, um, really for the Ghanaian real estate market, which I think is going to be amazing in the coming few decades. And I think right now is the early time to actually jump on that. So I found me someone who's already in Ghana, and I met a lot of amazing people on that day as well. I created the day without having any anything to do with real estate or none of it, but I just brought these people together with someone else. Neil's amazing guy, and also really going into that real estate journey, and really from a perspective to contribute to the country, not just where can we have money and passive income. I mean, those things you're going to get automatically when it comes to real estate. um, but yeah, I think you can really employ a lot of people and have an amazing impact when it comes to those countries. And Ghana, for me, I'm half Ghanaian, so yeah, especially that country. And but for now, like I would really love to be like, my biggest wish for next year, if I bring it all together, is just to actually celebrate Christmas with my family in Ghana, and making sure my dad can enjoy his retirement, my mom can enjoy her retirement, and just be there stress free. Like that's my, if I get that one out of my system, then I think the world will be mine. But this is my main focus, and all the things I just mentioned, of course, are going to help get me to that point. So I'm just excited about the future, to be honest. And these are just the things I'm thinking about now. I'm probably 3 months from now I have something else popping in, and um, yeah, that's also what I love about really being an entrepreneur. Like every single button in your life, you can twist it and turn it whenever you like. You don't have to have any improvement from anyone. You can just go. And yeah, so I'm just excited. Long story short.
Good, good, good. No, I mean, I of course know how passionate you are about Ghana, and
Yeah,
I mean, I really appreciate that in your in you as a person, and I mean, I'm sure uh, you will create something over there. I know how driven you are, um, and I mean, I really hope that 2024 Christmas is going to be in Ghana. Uh,
has to be.
we're,
Has
just,
to be.
we're creating that, and we're declaring it here right
Mm,
now. Um,
definitely.
yeah. So, anything else for Ghana and for you, or
No, not really. I mean, I think next year is also really going to be about family. Like my brother just bought a house with his girlfriend, and we're going to be, doing stuff over there. I think it's just going to be about family and being connected with the people I love. I think that's something I also really want to expand on next year.
okay? Good. I'd like to round up the conversation, Brehuya.
Sure. Yeah.
Where can people get in touch with you? Where can they reach you? Um,
Get
I
it.
mean,
So yeah, of course, they can find Bam's Booty Camp on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Chicago Breezy. I know it's a crazy name, but you can find me, or just type in Brehua and you will find me as well. LinkedIn, of course, Facebook, anything that works for them. Um, yeah, and don't be shy. Just reach out whenever you see something in this conversation you love, or maybe you heard something about Booty Camp, and just have some questions about what I do, how I do it. Just reach out, because I love to talk to people, inspire people, and see where we can level up your life.
yeah, and I mean, I totally recommend you do that. All the social media links are in the notes. Reach out to Brehua, and he can definitely help you. He's a very inspirational guy. So take him up on that invitation. Um, Brehuya, I loved having you. It was a really great conversation about high school, bootcamp, about some of the pivotal moments that you had in your life. Thank you for sharing them so openly and vulnerable with us. Um, and just thinking, yeah, no, I think that's it. I will be here
Okay.
next week again with another guest. Very welcome to come and watch then. And then I want to thank everybody for watching, and thank you, Brehua.
Yes, of course, boss, and thank you for having me. I mean, it's been a great conversation. I know you for a long time. I know you grow yourself every single month, week, whatever. And also with having me here, really made me grateful for the journey I've been on. So I would really want to thank you for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
my friend.
Okay,
Bye
bye.
bye, everyone.